So we did 10 units this year. I have the topics written in the little boxes up here. So I have it all separated by unit. And then I have 3 problems for each unit that are from released SOL. So they're actual SOL questions. I realize they're kind of small because I copy and pasted them on there. But if I can see them and I'm old, you can see them. Okay. A lot of this is stuff you can type in the calculator. I know that's a little bit boring, but it'll get you the answers. So I'm going to need you to watch when I go to type stuff in the calculator, because that's how you can get a lot of the answers. Okay. So looking at this first one, we want to plug -15 in. I'm going to share my screen. You can type it exactly like it looks. -2. Hey, where do I get the absolute value bars? Little like keyboard thing. And then right there. Okay. And what's in there? N plus 6. And then I'm going to come down to the next box and type N equals, what did it tell us? -15. Boom. There's our answer. -18. Circle it. That's your answer. Easy peasy. All right. So it'll plug it in for you. This one, we're going to have to actually work out. Okay. What expression is equivalent to all of that mess? You're going to distribute through the parentheses. We're going to do 1/6 times 30. In other words, 30 divided by 6. What would that give you? 5. If you didn't know, you could type in 1/6 times 30 to your calculator, right? So that'll be 5x minus, now you're going to do 1/6 times 24. Or in other words, 24 divided by 6. 4, and that would be 4y. Now for this one, you're distributing a -1/8. So be careful with the negative sign. 1/8 times 32, or in other words, 32 divided by 8. -4, and then the x is attached to that. And when you distribute to the last one, it's a negative times a negative. It's going to be positive. An 8 times 16, or 16 divided by 8. 2, and the y is attached to that. Go ahead.
Are they giving us like Desmos or like some crappy?
Yes, no, you will have Desmos that will look exactly like the one we've been using. Okay. Now we're going to put the like terms together. You have 5x minus 4x, which would just be x, 1x. And then when you put the y's together, -4y plus 2y, what's that going to give you? Yeah, -2y. So that one is B. All right, and then this one says, which expression represents 4 less than half a number? That means you have half a number and then 4 less than that. So which one says that? That you want half of something and then 4 less than that? Yeah, B, half of n and then -4. There's not any way to put those in the calculator. You kind of just have to read it and interpret it. So that was unit 1. Those all happened to be B, but again, what I did is I took a released SOL and I copy and pasted questions that went with each unit. They weren't in order. So, you know, they're not all B. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, over here, unit 2, this was solving equations and inequalities. Your calculator will do a lot of this for you. Do you see this first one? I'm going to type it in. I know this isn't like super interesting, but I need for you to watch. All right, what was the first side? 3n -7/6. Now I'm going to have to type x to make it work. So I typed 3x -7/6. I'm going to come down to the next box and I'm going to type the other stuff. What was it? 2x. I know it says n there, but plus 5/3. Do you guys see that? Okay. Now I don't see the graph. So sometimes, oh, there it is. If you hit this little home button, it'll put the window back to normal. Did you ever know that? You hit the little home button, it'll put it back to normal. Anyway, do you see the intersection there? -17 is what goes in that box. Cool? Put it in the calculator. So -17 is our answer. All right, this one we're going to have to actually work out. This is a formula, and you know what? Let me write it a little bit bigger for us. It's 180 equals 2x plus y. It says that we want to get x by itself. We want to get x by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the y. We're going to subtract the y over. It's exactly like -7 or -3. It's just minus y. So that's going to give you 180 minus y equals 2x. I still want X alone. How would you get rid of the 2? You would divide by 2. Why is it divide? Because that's correct. Because it's being multiplied. Perfect. You guys are on point today. Let's keep that up. This is your answer. Which one looks like that? A. Perfect. All right, here, these all look relatively the same except for where they're shaded. I will read you the story. Malik can spend no more than $24 to buy pecans and cashews. He pays $6 for pecans. All right, that's going to be 6x. Plus, how much does he pay for cashews? 8. So plus 8y. And he only has $24. Can he spend $25? No. So what symbol has to go there? If he can only spend up to 24. Not equals, but yeah, less than or equal 24. He can spend up to 24. He could spend 23 or 22 or nothing, I guess, but he can't go over 24. Now what I'm going to do is type that in the calculator. All you have to do is look. Let me clear these out. All right, it is 6x plus 8y less than or equal to 24. I'm going to hit the little home button to put us back home. Which graph looks like that one is all you got to do. D. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's look at the difference between C and D. Because what's the only difference between C and D?
Dots.
The dotted. Do you see how this is a solid line? All right, so D is the correct answer for that one. Unit 3 was functions. Is it a function? Is it not a function? Putting things in a table, finding domain and range. This one, you're given this function. It wants you to plug in 6. Are you seeing that? Okay, I'm going to come over to the calculator and I'm going to type it in. All right, what was the function? X minus 3 squared and then plus 1. Do you see that? Do you see how I just typed it in? All you got to do. And then I'm going to come down here and type in X equals, what did we want to plug in? 6. Now I might need to move this around. Here's the intersection. What do you get for 6? 10 is your answer. You can do about half this test in the calculator. And you only need a little bit more than half to pass. So as long as you know how to use the calculator, you're going to be just fine. Now this one, it's which one's a function? It has to pass the vertical line test. So which one passes the vertical line test? D. Do you see how all the, or I'm sorry, not D, B, as in Barracuda. All the others, if you drew a vertical line, it would hit more than once. So we don't want that. All right, over here, it says, here's a graph. What is the range? Hey guys, is range X or Y? Range is Y. What Y value can I draw a line at here where this stops? -4. Do you want everything above -4 or below -4? Above. Which one of those? I know they're kind of hard to read, but you can do your best. Which one means everything above -4? D, greater than or equal to -4. So D is your answer then. Good job. Keep going. You know, I'll give you a break when we get partway through this, but we got to keep going. Unit 4 was all about slope. Do you remember like up 3 over 2, down 5, left 7? Okay, all of that good stuff. So looking at this one, what is the slope of that line? Well, it's going to have to be negative because it's going down. Use your choices to help you. What do you think? B, down 1 over 6. You can't miss those ones. All right, we got to get those ones right. Over here, which line represents this graph? Well, you could type all of these one by one in the calculator and pick the one that looks like that, right? Okay, but for the sake of time, and I don't feel like typing them all in, let's look. Where does it start at the y-axis? Like what point is that starting in? -4. Do they all have a -4? They all have a -4. Okay, so I can't narrow that down. So you're going to have to use the slope. It looks like it goes up 1, right 3. So up 1, right 3 would be a 1/3 slope. Which one has the 1/3? 1/3. C. That one had a -1/3.
Yeah, that was.
So if it was the -1/3, the line would be going downwards instead of upwards. Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am. All right, over here, Which graph represents this? Now there's only one equation, so I'm just gonna go ahead and type it in. Like here, I would have had to type all those in, and you can do that. The SOL is not timed. You take as long as you need, okay? But I'm just gonna type this in. 4x plus 5y equals negative 20. I'm gonna hit the home button to put the window back. Oh, I still can't see it. Let me see. I think I mistyped something. 4x plus 5y equals negative 20. There we go. All right, which one does that look like? Hey, good job. Cool. Number 5, more on slope. Equations of lines. Y equals mx plus b. All that good stuff. So look at this one. Which equation goes through these 2 points? Here's my recommendation. And again, you're going to just have to watch. Don't fall asleep on me because I know it's just typing in the calculator, which is not super fun and interesting, but it'll get you the right answer. I'm going to type in the first one. Y equals negative 2x plus 14. Watch. Just watch. What was the first point? Read it to me. I'll type it in. Negative 4 comma 4. What was the other point? 8 comma negative 2. Boom. All right. Let me mess with this window a little bit. You're going to be okay. Does that line go through both the points? No. So it's not the answer. Let's go back and change it. What's choice B? Negative 2x minus 4. Does that go through both the points? No. All right. Let's do the next one. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Does that go through both the points? Ding, ding, ding. That's the answer. You will absolutely pass this if you are patient enough to type stuff in the calculator and you listen. All right, horizontal line through this point. Again, you can type them in one by one and pick the one. Well, you have to know what horizontal means though. So let's talk about that. Which way is horizontal? Yeah, across, like side to side, like the horizon. If you type x equals 5, is that horizontal? No. How about y equals 5? And would that go through the point 7, 5? Like, is 7, 5 going to be on here? I don't know that I'll be able to land on it exactly. Oh, I did. Look at that. 7, 5. That's your answer. All right, system. This was the test that everybody nailed. I think like you all got an A or a B on this one because you can type them all in. I'm going to share my screen and type in that system. While I'm typing that, hey guys, what point is the answer? Because that's the one thing that the calculator won't do for you and you have to know. I'm going to type in the 2 graphs, but what point represents like the answer part? The good vocabulary, the intersection. All right, so look, here we go. Here's the intersection, 1, 5. C. All right. Now I want you to carefully look at these. They're actually all the same, all of the choices, except what? What's the only thing that's different about them? Can you look carefully and tell me what's the only thing that's different about each one of those choices? The line underneath. So, hey guys, if there's the line underneath and it has the equal to, that means you include that point. If it's dotted, that means you don't include that point. So I typed in the first one, see how they're both dotted. They were both just an equal to, there's no line underneath. What point is it that they're asking us to look at? Negative 3, 1. Everybody look. Do you see how negative 3, 1 is the intersection? That point will only be included if both the lines are solid. If they're dotted, we're not including it. So I need both lines to be solid. So look at the choices. Which is the only one that has both of them solid? D. See how they both have the line underneath? So that's going to have to be your answer. And then this one here. They gave us the graph, so cool. I don't have to type anything in. Which one of these is the answer? Again, it's the intersection point, so you're looking right there. Which point is that? 3, negative 7, which is B. All right, so unit 7 was all of your exponent rules. Okay, so this one is like our tug of war. I know it's small, but I can see it, so you can too. All right, on the numerator, you have a to the 12th. On the denominator, you have a to the third. So which side wins in that tug of war? The top. By how much? 9. So you would have a to the 9th on the top, fraction bar. Then look at the b's. Which side wins in tug of war? The bottom. By how much? 4. 6 minus 2 equals 4, and good. So the answer is A. Now, all these radicals you can type in the calculator. I just need you to watch, okay? We're going to type square root of, what is it, 128? Look, do you see how it came out to 11.3 and some nonsense? Now we're going to do all the choices. 8 square root 2. Is it the same thing? That's your answer. Now listen, occasionally, if you try all 4 choices, occasionally you'll get 2 of them that match. What that means is one of them is not completely simplified, and you need to pick the one that is more simplified, meaning there's a smaller number underneath the square root, okay? So occasionally you'll get 2 of them that work, so you still want to try all 4 choices. You guys can stop writing on each other's papers now, that's fine. All right, now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to do that cube root. Do you remember how to type a cube root? You can either type CBRT, or you can dig around in here. I think it's in functions and you can scroll all the way to the bottom. I just type CBRT. It's like in there somewhere, but if you type CBRT, it'll give it to you. All right, so what is that one? 48. We got 3.63, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to type in the first one. 2 cube root of 6. Oh my gosh, it came out to the same thing. So that one's our answer. So we got lucky on both of those that we only had to type the first choice. But there's only 4 choices, so I would use a calculator as much as possible if it was me. All right. Now, here were polynomials. This is your algebra tiles. This is the one that I told you about where you don't have to care and you don't really have to understand it. You just have to get the right answer. Do you see how it's x plus 3? Do you see how this side, you have an x and then plus 3, and then the other side it's an x and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is D. Again, if you're like, I don't like that, that's totally fine. Just pick that as your answer as long as you get the right answer. It was unit 8. Oh, the algebra tiles. So we did some of them back in unit 1, and then we did more in unit 8, and then we did more in unit 9. They were kind of spread all over the place. Look at it, you're like, what on earth? It's just a bunch of shapes. Anyway, answer for that one's D. All right, here, we're adding all these together, so it's like terms. What matches with the 4x squared? Good, 7x squared. Anything else? Negative x squared. So 4 plus 7 is 11, minus 1 is 10x squared. So actually you can go ahead and get rid of 2 of the choices right off the bat. You need a 10x squared, so what can you get rid of? Yeah, the bottom 2, C and D. You can get rid of those. All right, next we have negative 3x plus 7x. So plus 4x. And actually you can go ahead and pick your answer at that point, which is the one that has the plus 4x. A. Now, if you did the last part of it, you would get minus 4, but your answer is A. All right, unit 9 was factoring. This first one, do you see how it's a trinomial? You have an n squared, an n, and then a number. It's your x box, all right? Do you see how there's a number in front of the n squared? You're going to have to look up here. When there's a number there, you have to multiply the first and the last number. So it's negative 42 times 2. Good, even without a calculator. Negative 84, negative 5 goes on the bottom. Don't worry about the negatives. We just want numbers that multiply to be 84. And remember, you can come over here and type 84 divided by x, make a table. I'm looking for a pair that adds or subtracts to be 5. Do you see it on there? 7 and 12. Very good. So put 7 and 12, then worry about the negatives. To get a negative 5, which one is negative? The 12. Good. Now, sometimes those are just your numbers, And sometimes you have another step. In this case, you have to put them both over 2. So you're going to have 7 over 2, which does not reduce. And you're going to have negative 12 over 2, which does reduce over good. The reason you have to keep the 1, because it would just be negative 6. The reason you have to keep the 1 is because when you do your parentheses, you start with the denominator. And that's the one thing that's kind of tricky about that. You have to start with the bottom number. So what's this first one?
2x plus.
Good. 2x plus 7. And that's 1x minus 6. The answer choice is just one or the other of those. So you're looking for one or the other. Oh, and I wrote x, but it's n. I'm sorry. Which one's our answer? D. It's n minus 6. I'm sorry. I'm so used to writing x, but that one was n. No, not as long as you can pick the right answer.
Doesn't Desmos it recognize it?
Correct. In Desmos, it does kind of make a difference.
It kind of,
All right, for this one. Hey guys, are you looking? I'm gonna type the problem in, and then I'm gonna type all the choices. How will I know when I get the right one? It's when the two graphs do what? Well, not intersect, but like they meet up exactly. Yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like on top of each other. Yes, good. So I am gonna have to type X for this to get it to draw the graph. Are you looking? Good. So do you see that in there? I just typed it in. I just put X instead. All right, what's the first answer choice? Yeah, okay, and I'm gonna type X. 2x minus 3. Did they line up? No. All right, so what's the next one? 3 minus 2x. Did they line up? Yes, cool. That's your answer. So you type the problem and you type all the choices, and when they line up exactly, that's your answer. All right, this one's another X box problem, but it's a little easier than the first one we did because there's not a number in front of the X squared. What number goes on the top? -6. Oh, good. On the bottom is -1. There's nothing written in front of the X, so we know it's the 1, it's -1. Don't worry about the negatives. You just want numbers that multiply to be 6. It'll be 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, which one's negative? Good, because 2 minus 3 gives you -1. And then why do we get to just use those numbers? Good, perfect, Kyle, perfect. All right, so because there's not a number in front of the X squared, those are your answers. Now, the choice that you want is one or the other. So C, very good.
Yeah, I always like to be bad. It's right.
Don't second guess. You're better off just picking what your gut instinct tells you. All right, and then this is the last unit that we just did. Your direct and inverse variation and all the quadratic stuff, and your y equals mx plus b in the calculator and all that. Direct variation, it means it will be a line that goes through what point? Direct is a line that goes through what? The origin. So look, I'm going to type these in and we'll just look at them. Is that a line through the origin? No. Good. All right, what's the next one? 5, 7, 9. Would that be a line through the origin? No. Okay. What's the next one? 4, 8, 12. Is that a line through the origin? Yes, it would be. If you want to check, let me just do the last one. What was it? 9, 7, 5. Is that a line through the origin? No. Okay, so this one is our answer. All right, which number is a 0 of the function? Well, let me type the function in. All you need to know is what a 0 is. So that vocabulary word means it's where the graph touches what? Good, the x-axis. So we get, where's this one? -6 and +3. So you have to, the calculator won't do that for you. You have to know which part to click on. And it's gonna just be one or the other. So which one? -6, good, A. And then this last one is gonna be a bit annoying, but we can get through it. You're going to have to type all that in. What button do you hit to start the whole party? Plus, do you see the plus right here? You're gonna have to just watch. Table. Now, I don't like how they wrote these because they didn't write them in a table. Your X numbers are the first part. So that's -5, and then what else? Look at it, what's the next X number? 2, good, okay, cool, you guys know which one's which. All right, and then the Y values are 9, 31, 143, geez, 151, 42, 97. Then what do I hit to see it? Because nothing showed up. Magnifying glass, and you have to decide, is it a line or is it a U shape? It's a line. So here I'm gonna type y equals mx plus b. Nothing showed up. That's because you have to change two things. You have to make the equals a tilde, and you need ones after the x and y. See how it showed up? Cool. Now it says, what do we want to make the input? Look back at your paper. So I'm going to come down here and type x equals 13. Click on the intersection. 170. So